Special thanks to all our patrons who support the show every single week. We couldn't do it without you. Head over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today for bonus content, exclusive happy hour live chats, and more. Patrons, you help keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we're so grateful for you. Not a patron yet? Join us today at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Help support the show by using our Amazon affiliate link anytime you shop on Amazon for running gear, food, beverages, or anything else the little gray trucks might bring your way. Just use runeatdrink.net/Amazon anytime you shop. It costs nothing extra. It's only one extra click, and it helps us keep the lights on and the bandwidth flowing. Just go to runeatdrink.net/Amazon, and we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Haslett, and you are listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 251 and our 6th anniversary celebration of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Aimee.
And I'm your co-host, Dana. Welcome to the party.
Yay!
We are celebrating 6 years of podcast. I'm going to call it podcast excellence. Podcast excellence.
Aw, that's so sweet.
I think it's well deserved.
Yeah.
It's certainly been a work in progress over 6 years.
I think what's really at the heart of the show is our Runcation Nation community.
Oh, 100%. And what a community we have.
What a community we have. What we have brought some wonderful content to them, and they have come to us for some great experiences over the last year. So
yeah, so it's only fitting that if we're going to be celebrating 6 years, we should look back.
Take a little look back. Yeah.
On where we've been and maybe where we're going.
Since our last anniversary, last June, the big 5.
Yeah.
And now this is 6 and we're going into 7. Doesn't seem like that long.
No, it definitely does not.
And yet so much has happened and we've met so many wonderful people.
Oh, the people we have met because of the show. It is so amazing to me, the conversations we've had with running luminaries, with famous chefs, with people who are active in their communities, and then just the amazing folks out there in the audience, the Runcation Nation. It's been humbling, and it's been just an absolute blast to get to meet these people.
We are very lucky, and I can't wait to see what the next year holds. But in the meantime, we're going to flash back a little bit and talk about some great moments around running, eating, and drinking.
How can you go wrong? We've got the recipe. It's in the title of the show.
It's in the title of the show, and we're talking about June of last year to June of this year, because that is when you practically made me submit to Apple Podcasts and said, just click it. And I didn't want to. I was nervous. I didn't know if anybody would listen. You said, just do it. And you put your hand on mine and we clicked to submit.
I'm going to take your word for that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being how that went at all.
No?
No.
Really? How do you remember it?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. I could tell him anything then.
Absolutely.
Really?
I don't remember this at all.
Yes. He said, we've really got something great. We have wonderful people that we've met, and we can give knowledge, we can share, we can enjoy and enhance. And so let's do it.
And that part I remember, but like the forcing you to click, I'm a little skeptical. Just saying.
What do you mean a little skeptical.
skeptical.
And when I say that, I'm not saying like you just do it. It's not like that. It's like, I'm just going to push you a little bit out of your comfort zone and you're going to click.
Okay.
Yeah. And there we go.
There we go. Before we get into all of that, though,
Yes.
let's do some shout outs. We do have
Yes.
a couple, and we are a little bit behind with this week's episode. Before we even do the shout outs, let's just apologize. We normally do a weekly release. This is it's 2 weeks between episodes here. We had some life get in the way, but that does happen from time to time. That's not indicative that we're not ready to rock and roll and out there running and working out and doing all this stuff. We just had some life get in the way to prevent us from recording. Sorry about that if you were looking for an episode in the feed last week.
Yeah.
But we'll make up for it, we hope. But yeah, we have shout outs. You scoured our social media and found them.
Some of them.
Some of them, yes.
Some of them. It's really, and then we have one that was submitted, which is awesome. So to get to it, first of all, congratulations, Cheryl, who is engaged.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that. I saw the bling
Beautiful.
being shown off. Congratulations.
Cheers to many happy years.
We also wanted to congratulate everybody who entered our drawing.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of people see in our social media feed our posts about Richard's Father's Day walk and jog. And I believe it is, if I am not mistaken, the 10th anniversary. And they are headed, the Columbia Restaurant Group, Richard Gonsmart, they are headed to a big milestone in terms of fundraising for Moffitt Cancer Center. And anybody who knows it's near and dear to our hearts. We've done that race for many years, and it means even more now because of the connection to my dad and his treatment overcoming the cancer that he was diagnosed with last year.
Yeah, and we spent a good amount of time at Moffitt.
Yes.
In the last several months. So.
Yes. So we are lucky enough to know Michael Kilgore, who reached out to us, who is part of that group, and said, come be with us and bring some of your Runcation Nation and give away some entries here so that we can make the crowds and the celebration of their milestone that's coming even bigger. So congratulations to Kelly, Dawn, and Michelle, who won the drawing, as you call it, the entries. They tagged people. They made sure that they shared. They're following us. And it was just fantastic. And we look forward to everybody who can make it to Richard's Run, because it is a celebration. It's a fun event. And we were happy to and thankful for the entries that we got to give away.
Absolutely. And that, as we are recording this episode on Tuesday, that race is coming up this coming Sunday. So we're looking forward to getting up to Tampa to do that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that start and end at Ukulele.
Yay.
Can't go wrong.
I hope we see Tim Shackton and maybe have a little sip of wedding beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We also got an email shout out sent in to us.
I'm so excited. Yes.
Go for it.
Okay, so the text of the email reads as follows. Hi, Aimee and Dana. This is Trip with a little smiley face emoji. How are you guys? Josh mentioned that he might be on your show soon. Can you give him a big shout out in all capital letters from all of us in the Runcation Nation? He has been killing his recovery from heart surgery. He goes to his lake near his house and walks, or rucks, every day in the blistering heat and humidity that you guys have. Yes, we know this in the South. Mm-hmm. Just an aside. And in the South, we've got it here.
And he's in Alabama, so that's the South.
He's in Alabama. So Florida, Alabama, yes. Humidity, yes. Heat, Yes. He's also been hiking on trails, and he's been cleared to powerlift again. Josh is really busting his butt. He's healed up and almost back to work. I've talked to JoJo too. We're also proud of him. Please give him a shout out with some high five emojis. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you soon when you go live. Hugs to Dad, Trip Billy.
And Trip, we're more than happy to give him a big shout out. Josh is going to be on an upcoming episode of the show.
It's true.
Looking forward to sharing that with everybody. The folks here at the Run Eat Drink podcast towers are hard at work in our editing bays, making sure that episode is ready.
There are so many of them.
And sounds as good as it possibly can.
So many editors.
Yeah, so many editors. So we will get that one out there in the feed very soon. But Trip, thank you very much. And if you would like a shout out for you or someone you love on the show, email us at info@runeatdrink.net. That's info@runeatdrink.net, or call us and leave a voicemail.
And you can at 941-677-2733, and we can play it on an episode. If you want to shout out somebody in the Runcation Nation, or you want to shout out for an accomplishment that you have made yourself, don't forget to send them to us. We do our best to collect them. But as Dana said earlier, sometimes life gets in the way. We miss things on social media. Help us just continue that feeling of shout outs and gratitude and celebration headed into year 7 of our show.
Absolutely. So let's talk running from the last year.
My goodness. It started at Richard's Run. Yeah. But there are things that we do around running, not just going to events and accomplishing, exploring, and indulging with the Runcation Nation. We also have topics and people, like you said, running luminaries, heroes of ours that we actually get to have conversations with too.
Yeah. And getting to do amazing events and talk to these inspiring people is, I think, one of the greatest aspects of doing the show. And we hope that you guys are all enjoying these. We want to give you ideas of places to go and races to do, but we also want to provide you those episodes that motivate you, get
Inspire.
you off the couch, maybe help you push through that long run. I love spoken word content when I'm out doing a long run. It helps me focus and not focus on how much I hate running, but focus in the moment in the Florida heat.
Right now in the summer, it's fair.
Yeah. But if I have a podcast to listen to and I'm in the conversation,
yes,
it helps me focus on that instead of the conditions. So
indeed.
I don't know. You want to start out talking about some favorite races?
Yes. It's hard for me to choose races from this past year. But one of my all-time favorites from this past year would have to be Gasparilla.
Yeah, now that's a repeat race we've covered on the show a couple of times. We're, of course, talking about the Gasparilla Distance Classic in Tampa, Florida. That is a February race, and it's a fantastic weekend.
I love it.
Getting into Tampa, that time of year, weather's usually good. The course is fast, flat, paved, beautiful. The expo is phenomenal. The party environment around it is fantastic.
The entertainment on the course, the water stops on the course, I love it. I love the entire weekend, and we were ambassadors for that weekend this past year.
Yes. That was our first time getting to be ambassadors for the Gasparilla. That was awesome. Yes,
and I certainly hope that we did them justice as we talked about that weekend, which meant so much to us because several members of the Runcation Nation came to that weekend to accomplish, explore, and indulge in Tampa.
Yeah, we had a huge meetup in Tampa. We had,
Fitz was there on the mic and race announcing. It was awesome there to know that she would be at the start and the finish of all of the races. and get us going and celebrate accomplishments. She adds a whole layer of positive energy that it's contagious. It makes you want to go to events with her and with Rudy.
Oh, absolutely.
Team Noisy.
Absolutely. They're great. They are great. And if you want to hear about the Gasparilla Distance Classic in detail, that is episode 244 in the feed. If you go to runeatdrink.net and you click on listen now, you can go back all the way to episode 1, but we've got all the episodes right there for you to listen to. But that one will tell you about a great race weekend, and I believe there's some delicious food and beverage in the episode.
I know
as well.
there is.
Yeah, just saying.
That you got to partake in, and for that half, and I really wanted to that Mexican food that Darlene found, and
Jotoro, yeah. I'm gonna say that a favorite one of mine from the past year is actually also a Florida race, and also one that Fitz was announcing, and that is going to be my solo weekend doing the Donna half marathon up in Jacksonville.
That was a tough time of year because we had to switch off events.
That was in the midst of your dad's treatment, and we were having to tag team it. So somebody had to be with him, somebody had to be back home with mom, somebody had to run our household, and we were just cycling through. And then, oh, by the way, we got a race weekend. Someone's got to cover this weekend.
And Donna,
it was my turn in the barrel.
It means so much to us, and it looked like so much fun. And Jeff is there, Fitz is there, Jeff Galloway, America's coach, of course. We're talking about, and Fitz Kohler, one half of Team Noisy, and a cancer survivor herself, an inspiring cancer survivor who just
author extraordinaire.
Yes, who just released another book, and
friend of the show.
It's a weekend that is very near and dear to us.
Yes.
And so the fact that you went means a lot.
And I got an opportunity to go back and look at a couple of places that we had been to before to do little live streams and show people what was up. And I also got the opportunity to try out some brand new spots so that we could bring something new to the table in terms of the food and beverage. Because if you're going to go to Jacksonville, which is the largest city in the state of Florida, you want to kind of have an idea of places to go. What's a must do? And we definitely, in the years that we've covered the Donna, we have given a great variety of places in the Metro Jacksonville area, both in Jacksonville proper and in the beach towns surrounding Jacksonville, of places to go for food and beverage. Pizza, after pasta, you've accomplished
brunch,
you name it.
Mexican.
It's
great breweries.
But that race keeps getting better. And I'm really excited for this year as well. And I know we got several months.
I think the highlight of that one was watching you all on the live stream at the 5K at the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium.
Yeah, they changed it up this year. That was very different. So that even the 5K felt like a very big event.
It did.
Because of the way they presented it and the way they, the Jaguars let the race participate in the stadium and up on the Jumbotron.
Cool.
And it was neat. That was
super cool.
That was fun. It was a chilly one. It was difficult to cover by myself. I definitely have a whole new appreciation for the division of labor that we have with making the show, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much to do for one person. But
wow,
that was a lot of fun. That was a really good one.
And you had members of the Runcation Nation who were taking care of you in that weekend, looking out for you. We had Emily up there and Jessica, and you saw Jeff, and it's almost like a homecoming for us now.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait to get back to it this next year, because I have some making up to do for accomplishing, exploring, and indulging and supporting the Donna Foundation.
Absolutely. Now,
that one is 242, that recap that we did, that episode number?
Yes.
242.
Yeah, 242. And we also, you mentioned the interviews.
Yeah. We've been really lucky over this last year when Jeff Galloway moved his race weekend, which we've got to get back to.
Yes.
And make up for lost time this past year being sick. Dreadfully sick.
Dreadfully sick. There's nothing worse than getting food poisoned. There really isn't. That is just the absolute worst.
Or stomach virus, whatever it was that we had.
Norovirus.
It was not good. It was not good. And Jeff Galloway's race moved to St. Patrick's Day weekend, essentially.
Yeah. And that was one I was very interested in that because it's been years since we've been in Atlanta that time of year.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember how pollinated Atlanta gets in the spring. I was a little concerned about that, thinking that race might be powered by Benadryl. But I was also looking forward to it because I know that it tends to be still very mild in terms of the weather. And let's face it, as much as we love Jeff's race when it's in, the second week of December.
Some third
week of December, or third week of December. It's chilly and
a little bit
damp
chilly
every year. It's 28 degrees at the start line.
Which I loved.
I know you do.
Yeah. But we want to get back and we want to do the St. Patrick's Day edition.
Oh, absolutely. Atlanta's a fun town for St. Patrick's Day. But what a beautiful race. Doing that race that time of year where Piedmont Park is going to just look more green and more verdant.
Beautiful.
As opposed to sticks in
Absolutely.
the wintertime.
Beautiful.
I think that would be a lot of fun. It'd be nice to see. And then you've got amazing food and beverage scene in Atlanta, especially around St. Patrick's Day. When you start Googling and looking for places. Who's doing something fun for St. Patty's Day? Literally everybody. The whole city.
And also, it was great to get Jeff on the show to talk about that first, when it first happened. It was just great. And he's always so motivating and so generous with his time and talking about the differences in weather and the fun theming around the 5K with the leprechaun theme and St. Patrick's did the tie to St. Patrick's Day. And it's just, I just can't wait to experience it. And we're so lucky to have had him on the show so many times. In episode 217, he did not disappoint.
No, he did not.
No.
And I am also super excited. And we got to get a nice update from him about how he's doing on his recovery.
Yes.
As well, because he had his heart issue earlier in the year and he's back at it.
Yes. You saw him at Donna and he's just got a passion to help people run until they're 100 injury free.
Yeah. And I have no doubt he's going to be doing it.
Yeah.
217 is that episode.
Yes.
Check that one out. You also got, now this was your year for, I'm going to see just how, I'm going to get some big fish on the show. I'm going to get some big names that we've never had before. And all of a sudden she's like, I'm going to get Dave McGilvery on the show. And I'm like, I know that name. I've seen him on the Boston movie. Good luck with that. Next thing you know, she's like, so I got Dave McGilvery. He's coming on the show next week.
Such a nice man, so giving with his time and just his books. And then he turned around and he actually donated books for our fundraiser for Donna. So he's the original charity runner.
Yeah.
Running across country, and just his life is so interesting. And you talked about that Boston documentary and that running across the country and then turning around and the job saying, report back, we're going to have to let you go. And they let him go.
Yeah.
But sometimes in that lowest point, you find your true purpose. And I think that he found it running across country for the Jimmy Fund, and also discovered his purpose in incredible talent for directing incredible races like the Boston Marathon. So in episode 218, he talks about his life and all the different lessons that he learned. I think we titled that Earn the Right because he talked about that a lot. Earning the right and putting the work in is a lesson that goes back to his grandfather and the first time he attempted to do the Boston Marathon. So it was just so great. We've seen that guy on 60 Minutes?
Uh-huh.
And the Boston documentary. And he was on our show.
Yeah.
On our show.
And you've heard a stinger where he's introduced the show before. He's now officially a friend of the show. Much like the next person that you managed to land and get on the show. Again, Amy's like, I'm going to get Adrian Haslett on the show. And I'm like,
yes.
Good luck with that. I'm like, there's no way look, I know Aimee can do anything she sets her mind to, but I'm like, this person's going to be like, the what podcast? Unless it rhymes with Joe Rogan. I'm like, yeah, they're not.
Well,
but next thing you know, I got Adrian Haslett on the show.
Oh, and she was so giving of her time. We just had a lovely, I think, 2-hour coffee chat that turned into 2 episodes.
She was great. So much fun to talk to. So chill.
Yes. She chatted it up with us about her whole journey around running and then becoming a public speaker, a motivational speaker for companies and groups and organizations, and certainly motivational on episodes 220 and 21, because it was all the training, all the events that led up to her training for Boston with Shalane Flanagan. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody remembers Shalane's awesome career and running with the flag when she won New York City.
Of course.
Incredible.
It's one of those visual iconic moments.
Yes. And Adrian is just, if you want to go back and listen to a couple of episodes that will motivate you to overcome obstacles.
Or it'll motivate you to stop with the excuses.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like you're like, oh, my back hurts and I'm sore or I'm tired and I want to go sit on the couch. And then you listen to that episode and you're like, I'm going to go run now because I have no excuses. None.
She got it done. And I think she wanted to rise to the level of Shalane's coaching, and she certainly did in spades. Those are 2 episodes that I am particularly proud of in this past year.
Yeah. And
so proud.
That's episode 220 and 221, right?
Yeah.
Check that out. Now, you mentioned them before. You mentioned Team Noisy. A lot of people, you go to a lot of races. You go to most races, even, I'm going to say. And the announcer is just, maybe it's somebody affiliated with the race. Maybe if you're lucky, you get a local local celebrity who's got some mic presence. But that's not always the case. But whenever you go to a race when you've got one or both of Team Noisy there.
Rudy and Fitz.
They make it such a great experience when you're like at the pre-start party at the beginning and then bringing you in at the end, making you feel like you're seen and you're being celebrated.
No matter what.
And we got the opportunity to talk with both of them.
And it was really great to hear Rudy and Fitz both talk about the genesis of how they became Team Noisy. It's just, Rudy is like he seems to me just like a person he's like my dad in the way that he recognizes talent the same way my dad did when he was a football coach and then grooming young administrators in his later educational career when he was a principal. Just identifying the talent and saying, yes, I'm going to push you to just say, come on, and just do it to Fitz. And look at what was born.
Yeah. And they really are something else, whether the event is going to have both of them at it or either one of them.
I can remember a Donna event where Fitz was going to be, and then because she was there, then I think he went and did the Indy Mini.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was, I think, a picture from JoJo and Susie.
We know her.
Yeah.
Or we know him.
We know both of them.
We do.
In the photo. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's when they can't be together, and if they are
dividing and conquering
Yes.
the continent.
But it's so great. Like they mentioned some great races out there in California. We really need to get out there and hear them on the mic out there with some beautiful courses.
Yes, I believe that
Great parties.
They did the OC Marathon. Looking forward to trying that one out. That one's been on our list for a while.
Yes.
We had the opportunity to have Team Noisy at the 2022 Gasparilla.
Yes.
where we had both of them in full pirate garb.
And when we were coming in, Fitz was at the finish line with us for a photograph. And then Rudy was reading our shirts when we were wearing the I'm Not Slow, I'm Making the Most of the Race Entry Fee shirts, which was great. And just to have them on the show, it's great to get the perspective of race announcers and stories that they have to tell.
And what I love about them is that they're both runners. So
they know.
They get it.
And they know what we need as any level, any kind of runner.
And that is episode 235, where we interviewed both of them. So check that one out.
Yay.
As I like to say, all this talk of running makes me hungry.
Has it?
It does.
Has it really?
It does.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And we're fortunate.
It made you hungry this year.
It did.
Okay.
Oh, boy, did it.
Oh, yeah.
Probably too hungry. Need to focus a little more on the running, a little less on the eating. But
No.
we did have some great moments and some great places that we were able to find.
Oh, we did. We had great moments around food. Had to be just the recent Hot Ones challenge for Cinco de Mayo / May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, we decided that we would have some fun for Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
We would do some hot sauce tasting and have a little fun with it. And Amy's reaction to I believe it's 100 and something thousand Scoville.
This is Scorpion.
It's a Scorpion sauce, or it might be 700,000 Scovilles. It's up there.
It's really hot.
Yeah. So
That's all
Amy's
I'm gonna
reactions got pretty popular. And this year, our executive producer, one of our patrons at the indulge level, Josh Osborne, he was kind enough to send us 3
Boxes.
sample packs. We got this massive care package from what in the world?
Right.
And it's the entire season 20 of Hot Ones sauces.
And it's like 10.
10
It is
sauces
10.
there. And then a separate kit from Top Chef that had 3 sauces
Very
in
nice.
it. And then some others as well. So it was
Very
it,
nice.
it was massive. And we did a fun live stream. Did it later because at that point when Aimee gets to the really hot sauces, the 4-letter words come out and we might lose our family-friendly rating.
That's why you
So-
have a button on the board, Dana.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. We're trying to figure out how to properly use this thing so that when you say things like, oh my, this is hot, we're not
We're
getting,
still okay.
yeah, exactly.
We're
not-
still safe.
We're not getting yanked from
We're still safe.
iTunes. So
Of course.
that was a lot of fun. That's episode 249. That wasn't that long ago. It was just last month.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that I'm going back to Tampa, and I can't.
We went other places than Tampa this year, folks, just so you know. But we're gravitating.
Yes, we went to. And it was a challenging year in terms of travel because of illness.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yes. Our first out-of-state race for the year got canceled due to being food poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to make up for it, though.
Oh, indeed.
We will definitely make up for it. In the meantime, though, the wood-fired place in Tampa that we discovered as a result of being up there for so long with my father during his treatment.
Talk about taking lemons and making lemonade. Aimee and her dad go and scope out this wood-fired pizza place in the very north end of Tampa, out by the University of South Florida.
My dad
north
found
of
it.
USF.
My dad found it. And I'm going to tell you what, the meatball appetizer,
Oh, it is tasty.
the wood-fired, it's all in a wood-fired oven. The wood-fired wings, the pizza, the salads even.
They don't wood fire the salads.
They don't wood-fire the salads, but what they cook in the wood-fired oven. Everything they make that we had the opportunity to try, so delicious. And they have an extensive wine list as well. That in terms of indulging in maybe a glass of wine, and they can steer you towards things that are pricey or things that are more economical, depending on what you're there to celebrate or what you're there to enjoy. But I really liked their New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I know we're in the food portion, but
I know, but I'm just proud of you for fitting a wine into an episode this year.
I know. We keep saying that we're going to expand our palates
and do more wine.
So maybe that will be true in year 7.
Maybe. We're working on it.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's a good one. Now I much like you, I'm going to keep it to that Tampa location only because this one just jumped out in my mind. It was a lot of fun to go to with members of the Runcation Nation. And I do think that maybe that influences the food. If you're hanging out with friends, it makes the food taste better.
And you're coming off a big accomplishment, running a half marathon in never worn pirate costume gear.
Oh, listen. Yeah. So we're going back to episode 244 for the Gasparilla. And this was, like you said, never before worn pirate costume, full garb with, I'm wearing the shirt, the vest, the tricorn hat, the sash. It's 90 plus degrees out on the race course. It was brutally hot and I needed some good food and beverage after the fact. Oh. And I believe it was Darlene who found this place.
I do believe that's what you said. And I believe we are remembering this correctly.
And I made a passing mention of it a little bit ago, a place in Tampa down near Sparkman Wharf, the old channel side. And it's called JoJo. And it's a wonderful Tex-Mex spot. And typically it's one of those things like I would be like, oh boy, it's going to be like fancy Tex-Mex and touristy area. I don't know if this is going to be good. No. Food was fantastic. They did a great job. Had so much fun. It also may have tasted a little bit better because I ended up getting an Uber ride with a couple of friends of ours from the show, and our Uber driver was going to kill us. And it was very nice to get out of their car and celebrate life and with food and beverage.
You mean the trip to the restaurant
from the hotel was perilous. Harrowing. Yes.
It was a harrowing journey for you.
I'm just saying that he may have parked on the active trolley tracks.
Whoa.
And yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I'm glad that you made it.
The near-death experience made it taste delicious. And it's good in its own right. I'm, of course, being facetious, but so much fun. I'm going to also bring up another one.
Oh, please do.
And it's a relatively new addition. We just recorded this one a couple of episodes ago. It's one that we've been meaning to get on the show literally since the very first episode.
It was
technically on the first episode.
It was on the first series of episodes around the Tampa Beer Run. That was the first race we ever did.
Yep. Just a couple of episodes ago, we recorded the food and beverage from Coppertail Brewing in Tampa. And I've got to say, of all the tap rooms that we've gone to, this one had one of the most impressive kitchens that I think I've had.
They put it on par with, say, Wicked Barley in Jacksonville.
100%. Yes.
Because there's some fantastic food.
Yes.
And beverage.
And that's one of those that if you have people in your party that are not beer drinkers or perhaps are not of age to drink, they can still have a nice sweet tea or iced tea or soda and have delicious food, and it'll be just fine.
Exactly.
It's amazing food there.
Oh.
And that's episode 244 for JoJo for Tex-Mex down near Sparkman Wharf, and episode 249 for Coppertail Brewing.
Yeah. We went to go run Meb's race. Meb came on the show to talk about his race, and we finally made it to Coppertail. Had delicious tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Just both of those are taco. Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, you can make anything a taco. But all that talk of food, of course.
Are you thirsty?
I am.
I knew you were going to say that.
Let's talk beverages.
What can I say about beverages, except we have had, speaking of Coppertail, I enjoyed the flights we had there when we went to go run Meb's inaugural race. We had many, and maybe it was the theme. Maybe it was the theme that made me love the one that I enjoy, or the two, that I enjoyed the most. Sidious Cider and the Bruce Banner Hazy Double IPA. Mm-hmm. And you would never hear me say, oh, a double IPA, which was a heavy hitter in terms of ABV, but they were delicious. And the Sidious Cider, that was a unique color and a unique flavor. It was just so very good. It was. And we did our hot takes right there in terms of the flights, and it was just rather tasty, I would say.
Very nice. Now,
and you can listen to our hot takes back on that episode. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go so different.
Oh, you are?
So different from anything that is normal. When I was covering the Donna,
yes,
I ended up going to a Thai restaurant that you,
in all fairness,
you got a recommendation to send me to.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was Aimee Mergen, who is on the board at the Donna Foundation.
Yeah, so I'm going to go a little different. I'm a huge Thai food fan, as you know, and as
of course
many of our listeners know. Grew up eating it. A weird juxtaposition. I grew up in a very Southern household. My mom had a very good friend who was first generation Thai and helped raise me. So I got to eat a lot of home cooked, very spicy, delicious, amazing Thai food. And Aimee's recommendation of the Blue Orchid in Jacksonville was so spot on. The food was traditional. It was incredible. But they did some interesting things to include grown-up versions of Thai iced tea. And their Thai tea that they did that had some, maybe a little bit of alcohol in there.
Oh, a little bit.
Was super tasty. And
you're the one who introduced me to Thai tea. I didn't even know it existed. And for anybody who doesn't know what it is, typically, what is it made up of?
Typically, it's a very strongly brewed black tea.
A black tea.
Usually. And it will be served with condensed milk. And
that's pretty thick.
Sweetened condensed milk. And then often, depending on the restaurant, sometimes they'll actually sweeten the tea itself. So you get a double whammy of sugar and caffeine. And then this one, it was sugar, caffeine, and some tasty liqueurs. Absolutely one of my favorites for the year. Very unique, very different, very beautiful drink. It had some hint of coconut in there. I think they might have used a little coconut milk in it.
That would give a different kind of sweetness. Yeah.
It was really cool.
I love Thai food and beverages because you introduced them to me based on your experience from childhood. So it was nice to get that recommendation from Aimee up there in Jacksonville and send you to a place that would take you back to your roots.
Yeah,
a little
exactly.
bit. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And just a cool spot, the Blue Orchid. And that one we talk about again back at the Donna episode 242 for this year's episodes so far.
Yeah.
But yeah. Man, we've covered running, we've covered eating, we've covered drinking. Guess what? You know what that means, right? We've reached the finish line.
Oh my goodness. But
that is another year in the can and getting ready to start year 7 now.
And we had a lot of great experiences, more local, I would say, in the Florida area this year than
previous years. But really, we found some great things. We were able to take advantage of some things and try them out that we hadn't been able to before.
in the Tampa area, in the Jacksonville area. And I just think this whole year and overcoming challenges in terms of injury or in terms of training around what life gives you and the need to take care of family, this has taught us to really soak up the moment when we have the ability to travel and see the country and run races that show us different parts of the country and local and regional favorites in terms of food and beverage, that we shouldn't take that for granted. And
Absolutely.
We can't wait until we have another meetup with the Runcation Nation somewhere across the country, and that we are just so proud and so happy to begin year 7 and do some more, much more exploring and indulging after the accomplishment.
Exactly. So with that said, we would like for you to stay tuned for next week for more accomplishing, exploring, and indulging with you guys. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. But before we go, if you want to be part of our new series that we're doing,
yes.
Aimee had this wonderful idea called the Runcation Recap.
You may have heard one last episode. We had Dean and Judy and Linda guest on the show to recap the Keys 100 down there in the Keys. In Key West.
And so many of you guys out there have experienced runcations that we all might want to consider putting on our bucket list. And
exactly,
what better way to learn than to talk to you guys
in the community,
your experiences. So email us if you want to share a great option for accomplishing, exploring, and indulging. That's info@runeatdrink.net. info@runeatdrink.net. Shoot us a quick email. Let us know you've got a Runcation recap idea, and let's hear from you. We would love to get you on the show and share that with the rest of the Runcation Nation.
Thank you for joining us for a recap of 6 years on the show. We could not have done it without you, Runcation Nation. We're so grateful. And this week we celebrate you, our community. Cheers to all the listening you've done on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, or wherever you are. I'm your host, Aimee.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.